Alright guys, it's November the 14th and we got the chickens on somewhere around November the 11th. We've had 4 eggs from them so far. I want to show you the chicken composting system I'm setting up with them, and I've wanted to do this for a long time. So this is the compost bin I'm emptying, the Dalek, and as I've been emptying it, it has been steaming, so I don't know if you'll see any of the steam come out on the camera. But that was really quite a surprise to me. But then I've not got a huge amount of experience with compost. It's literally just wood chips. It's only wood chips, and you can see that while shredding the stuff, there's leaf matter in there as well. Keep loading it up and just keep doing tubs full. So it won't take a huge amount of them. I filled up the Dalek itself in the first place, and there's this bag of waste that I've been keeping because it's kind of, if I show you, it's all little sticks, and I wanted to put it through the shredder, but there were a few stones in there and it did blunt the blade on the shredder. There we go, see, there's a stone, because it was raked up from one of the borders when we were clearing it out. So I'll put that in as well, but I'd like it to go on top of this sort of wood chip stuff. This wood chip will form a really nice floor, and I'm sure I've got more in some of the other Daleks, and I've got a feeling all 4 of these Daleks will be able to go into the chicken house. My composting capacity, I think, has just gone through the roof, and instead of waiting however many months or year for the Daleks to compost, although you can see it must be quite hot to be smoking like that. It's quite tough doing this one-handed, by the way. I'll keep reminding you of that. But getting there. This is absolutely lovely stuff, this wood chip. It's just any and everything that's come from the garden and shredded down. I think probably bits of ivy in there, bits of stick, bits of shrub and bush. I do have a tripod somewhere. But anyway, really excited to have the chickens and finally be doing this composting. And in the longer term, I do want to extend that run out so they've got more space and I can fit more piles of compost. And well, I could see about taking waste on from other people, because I'm a gardener. I do visit other people's gardens, and this time of year, although I won't be taking any home now, my customers do have lots of leaves, and that's the good waste, isn't it? The leaf waste, because you imagine how deep a tree's roots go down into the ground compared to a bush. They go down far and they'll be having access to soil and nutrients that maybe other plants don't. This is the one that escaped, this grey one. And I just grabbed it and got hold of its leg and threw it back in time. But when we have them roaming around the garden, when we're sure they're a bit more settled in and I've got my cat inside, then we'll have to learn how to catch them anyway, won't we? So it is steaming, that pile, and they seem very interested in it. It's going to have a lot of bugs in it, and I'm just stopping for a moment to see if I can see any little bugs in there. There will be, because it was full of it on the top, and it's been sitting there a while. So I'm glad to be able to finally give them a bit of time after a couple of 3 days of settling in, to give them something interesting to look at. Although they've had a little pile of leaves, so you can see them sort of spread out on the floor. The leaves down there, and they've been very interested in the pumpkins. They've all been around that. I find this absolutely fascinating. They get in there and they, here we go. They're spreading it about already. They're desperate to get in there, and that's where there's going to be loads of bugs around as well, which is what they'll be most interested in. So I'll follow this compost through the weeks and see how long it takes to break down. I've got absolutely no idea. It looks like it's got a good mix of leaves, and leaves would be the green waste and brown, the sticks, the carbon maybe, but either way a mix of the both, of the plant and the wood. Oh, look at them, they're going for it. And I'm glad I put these kickboards in now as well, because they're quite high up, and they'll contain a bit of the compost. I'll get some more in a minute. They're finding all sorts in there. They're very excited. God, and they're demolishing that pile pretty quick, aren't they? I'll go and get some more. And then what I've been doing, even with just that little pile of leaves, the wet leaves on their own in there, I was just coming back at the end of the evening when the kids are in bed, and then raking it up into a pile again, and then it's ready for them in the morning when they come out, and we'll put them away in their house at night just for added more. I don't need to, because they're in this solid cage, but it's just been to help them feel a bit more safe, because there will be foxes roaming around out here. I'll get some more. So this is the setup of the chicken composter. Thanks to Jeff Lawton inspiring me all these years and finally having a space to be able to do it as well, which I didn't have in my last house. But my neighbour had some chickens, but I just never felt as though there was enough space there. But here we've got plenty of room, and it's a useful, sort of useless corner to fill with a useful function. Oh, when I checked in there, there's one egg, so the boys will be happy to come back and find that egg. And also, very interestingly, about chickens, I've found out quite a lot already that you just don't hear on you know, the videos when you're researching it. So they're new chickens, you know, young ones that have been growing up, and they're just starting to lay, so they're just sort of getting into season, as it were, into that time of their life where they're laying eggs. And I hadn't realised that they're not necessarily going to lay every day to begin with. It takes time to sort of build up to potentially one egg a day, but more so, what I really hadn't realised is that the eggs, they start off small. They start off very small, and apparently from reading up about it, they will grow bigger. And at the moment, I would say that they're on the smallest end of what you could possibly buy out there. And I was a bit disappointed, because I thought, oh, what if they stay like that? But I believe they will grow bigger into, you know, better sized eggs that we can happily eat. I'll just lock myself in. I'll go out for some more compost. But, show you the egg. There it is. Little egg. And it's getting quite full of poo in there. They are just sitting down at the moment as well. One of them's roosting on the bars. Plenty of room for 5 in there, maybe even 6, maybe another one, but I won't get another one. Stick with a 5. Anyone any advice about what you do with all that poo? I'd appreciate it, because I've read things like saying you're just meant to clear it out once every few months, but I think it's going to have to be a bit more often to start off with. And this is a problem as well. I'll come back with my drill. I'm going to have to drill this down. That's the ladder for the chickens to get back in. It does keep coming off, but they have set a provision for it to be screwed down. So here, screw holes. You just do the middle one. So I'll have to do that. I wish I'd done that when I was building it, but I didn't think it would come down. So there's quite a few things to sort of tweak and improve, like this middle locks on now, which is great. The kids can come in and feel like they don't have to have someone standing and watching by the door. I've added another pile on. They'll be finding all sorts of lovely little bugs and things. Oh, look, one of them got a worm. He's got a worm. He's got a worm. The other one's nicked it. The brown one nicked it. The black one found it. Oh, gutted. So I hadn't realised there was a worm in the wood chip already, and we're not anywhere. Well, we're not really near the bottom, so worms are coming up through the wood chip, I'd imagine. So I didn't know that. Thought they'd just be in the bottom soil layer. Okay. So the first perch that I've added on, they're using quite a lot, and I've seen the brown one up there as well. So that's good. And I saw them all on top of the house as well, all together, except for the black Araucana one. We've got 4 of these brown egg layers, and then an Araucana, which is like a crossbreed. That will potentially be giving us the blue or the green egg. We don't know yet. Hasn't laid yet. But it does seem to be a bit singled out and on its own. They're not really embracing it. And they do chase it away sometimes. So hopefully it'll be all right. I think this is absolutely fantastic. It's got a big smile on my face. Okay, I'm gonna get some more. Just making sure I shut the latch all the time, and when I go I'll do the bottom one, but just coming in and out. It's fine just doing that one for now. Oh, I can see the Araucana bird is going on top of the hen house. Stuck. A few leaves. I think the shredder that I bought was a fantastic purchase, because I just simply wouldn't have had this material without it. And it was just a cheap one, you know, entry level. So if it does end up breaking, I'll know that I can properly invest in one for the future, because they're well worth it. Highly recommend it. Load of leaves down there in this bit. Get this load in. It's not as messy as I thought it would be. It's kept quite dry actually, that wood chip. Look, brown ones up there. Don't have any names for them yet. Don't know if you want to suggest any names. I should always close it behind me actually, because one did escape. There we go. What do you think of this new pile? We're getting further down nearer the soil, so I don't know if we're going to be getting more bugs coming up through, like worms and things. Ah, the Araucana birds inside roosting. That's good to see. I've disturbed it, it's coming back out. I'm going to get some more. More wood chip. Yeah, I might be getting down to a bit of a leaf layer at the bottom, I don't know. Okay, so we're down to the bottom of this garlic. I'll lift it off because it's got no bottom, and then I'll just put it over another one for now. I don't know if we've got much. This will be a bit easier. Oh god, it's heavy. Yeah, feels like there's a leaf layer there. Okay. Yeah, leaves. Take this in. Okay, camera went off there. Didn't like such a long. Take this in. So that's their food. It's like layer pellets. That's what they call it. That's what they're recommended in the place we've got the chickens from. But we'll feed them as much as possible we can on the compost. There's the water in the corner. Alright, so I'm going to get some more compost and show you what it looks like when it's done, and I'll keep you up to date through the week, so subscribe if you want to see its progress. Alright, so I've built up the first pile, and put in the first garlic. We'll have to see if it will take any more, but it's a fairly modest looking pile. I'm seeing it's sort of stacking up against the side of the wire there a bit, and it will probably get flung out the side, so I'm thinking about putting a wooden side on there, just putting some more of these slats of wood maybe to build up the wall, so we don't get too much compost going through that side gap, because it's so difficult to reach. I wouldn't mind, but I can't really get anything through there. It's such a narrow gap, sort of the width of my foot, the length of my foot. So that might be a little alteration to make, but we'll see. So I've separated out the pumpkins because they're quite keen on them, and then this is the pile so far. So that's one garlic full of mainly wood chips, a few leaves. There's going to be an awful lot of bugs in there. So I'll probably come back later today and find this pile's been scratched down. They've got all their little bugs out of it and they've had a nice time. Oh, look at them. They're all climbing up the mountain. I absolutely love watching this. door. Don't know if you can see the flies in the video, but there's a lot of flies around it, and that's from the original compost. Loads of flies flying around. If you can see them there. I've just seen a bit of plastic in there, don't know how that's got there. Should be completely free, but if something turns up. Right, well, we'll leave them to it and see what it looks like in the coming weeks. Alright guys, so it's a little bit later and I'll show you what the pile's looking like, but so I've been looking at what you can and can't give chickens, and apparently you can't give them any waste from your kitchen, so I'll show you what we're going to do with that. But we've got in this bucket some pumpkins, and these never made it into our house, let alone our kitchen, and we just cut faces in them outside, and then we came back and smashed them, so we can put these pumpkins into the chicken coop. Do you want to try it? Do you want to go and get your gloves? Oh, yeah. This one's feeling quite soft, and there's only compost in there, so that's good.
Daddy, they really like the pumpkins.
That's the pumpkin that we got from Oliver's teacher's allotment. And we've got some rainbow chard in there from their allotment as well. And then we've got the odd apple that I've collected from a customer's garden. But I'll show you what we're doing with the rest of the waste. So we've got more pumpkin in there. That's fine, that's separated, so we'll put that in with the chicken. So those Daleks are fine. And we've got one of these. Yeah, here we go. We've got some kitchen waste in there. Wow, that is absolutely full of flies. It's incredible. So we've got eggs that we've eaten in there, a bit of celery. So that is going to have to stay outside of the chicken coop and composted, because would you believe it or not, it's I've read it's actually illegal to put your kitchen scraps in with the chickens in the UK. Something to do with foot and mouth disease after the year 2000. So we'll happily compost our food scraps, and I've got a really good idea of what we can do with them, really good, that the boys are going to like. So I'll tell you about that soon. They need my attention right now.
Daddy?
Yeah?
Where?
So William's getting more bits of pumpkin that we've had from someone's allotment, and then there was some from a farm field. There you go. It's our Halloween pumpkins. And then this is what the pile's looking like. We've got some, see that rainbow chard from a friend's allotment, so that was pretty cool. Then we've got other bits in there, a couple of apples from customer's garden that fell down in their tree. You're having a good old scratch about. Well done. So we'll definitely have to grow some pumpkins of our own next year, and we might even be worth seeing if anyone has any spare pumpkins, because it looks like the chickens absolutely love them. Well done. And every evening I'll come and pile this back up so they can scratch it back down. But underneath this pile there'll be loads of earthworms coming up from underground and multiplying, and they'll be able to get some worms, I'm sure, at some point. Yep. Do you need to stand on something?
No, they're just too slippy on the inside.
Yeah. Okay, no worries. Well done anyway.
Can you do them?
Well, I won't necessarily do them right now, but yeah, I'll do them at some point.
I can still find other.
Alright, so this is the start of the chicken composting system. We're putting in pumpkins that we got from an allotment and a farm, and then all the garden waste. So we've got all the leaves and the shredded material, and then bits I can pick up from customers' gardens, like fallen apples. There's not many left this time of year, but I did find one today. And then so go on then, do you want to shut it with you inside? So what we can do with our kitchen scraps, I can't feed them to the chickens unfortunately, because it's like a UK law, it's actually illegal, can you believe it or not? But what we can do is feed, as far as I'm aware, tell me if I'm wrong, we can feed the kitchen scraps to soldier fly larvae, or just flies. I've seen something where you can put them in like a tote or a tub, a plastic tub, and put some holes in them so the chickens can't get in and peck in, but the larvae can get out. So I'll think about that, but until I've worked out a system, we're just going to keep the kitchen scraps, or compost, and we'll keep them away from the chickens. And all the other stuff, like all these pumpkins and leaves and garden waste, we can put in with them. And compost and everything on the compost heap, we can put that in with them in a big pile. And I'll keep you up to date with William, will you let me in, darling? We've got a latch on the inside to stop them escaping.
1 minute.
So he locks himself in, bless him. And I'll just show you the pile that we've started. So once these pumpkins get a bit too rotten to eat, but they're absolutely loving them. Look, we got this off his teacher's allotment. They're really hollowing it out, they're going for it, they love the pumpkins. And then this is the pile that I was making earlier, they're really knocking it down and having a nice time finding bugs in there. There was one that found a worm earlier.
Oliver's coming out.
Okay, I'll go and see how he is. Alright, we'll keep you up to date.
We have got one worm. No, I dropped 2. No, I didn't have any.
What have you got?
Worms.
You got 2 worms. Well done. Where did you find them?
Under a rock.
Okay. What are you going to do with them?
Oliver, put them in here. I found one and I put it in. Feed them to a chicken. But first put them in there until we get a load, and then we'll give them to the chicken. We need a load as well, then we can give them the chickens to us. We're going to put them in that box.
Yeah. All right. Well done.
And chickens.
Looks like the chickens are getting something new in their diet. Well, the boys are farming worms for them anyway, so that's good. And they're terribly interested in this pile. Love to know what's in there. Loads of little bugs.
want to go down that pumpkin.
How many you got in there then?
I don't know, there's a load scattered all over. I'm going to chickens and feed them.
Okay, you going to include Oliver?
Yeah, you can. Oliver, come here, me and find them all. Yeah. No.
Don't know how many worms I've collected, maybe.
No.
Oliver, you're scaring them, darling. You have to be quiet and you have to be still. I've got a few worms, they're just throwing out.
Give it to me. You can look at some. We got one. It's a good taste. My face. This is something yummy doing. Can we just take them?
Alright, you're done.
I want to rabbit.